If you watched the last episode of Wide World of Game Shows, you knew that I talked about Wheel 2000, the kids' version of Wheel of Fortune. Now let's talk about the kids' version of Jeopardy! Jep. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews presents Wide World of Game Shows. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Doyle, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Back again with another episode of Wide World of Game Shows. This time, I'm going to be tackling a different version of a game show that I've already talked about, Jeopardy! Now, you know I talked about Jeopardy! Don't really think I'm going to be talking about the spin-off since they are just about the same thing, but focus on different topics, which were Rock and Roll Jeopardy! And the Sports Jeopardy! Series, but I didn't watch that. I don't have Crackle. But it was this game that I watched, and let me tell you, it's pretty funny and what have you, given the fact that it's a kids game. So now, without further ado, I bring to you in this episode Jep. Jep is the kids' version of Jeopardy! Originally premiering on Game Show Network in January of 1998, the show was produced by Columbia TriStar along with Scott Sternberg Productions, who a few months back the previous year had recently done Wheel 2000. Its host was Bob Bergen, a popular voice actor at the time. That's right, Jep. I will tell you, this is an absolutely funny game and what have you. Of course, adapted from Jeopardy! It actually came on Game Show Network as part of their kids block, which I failed to mention why it was actually called. It was called Kids Zone, where it also aired Joker, 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 the kids' version of the Joker's Wild, along with the short-lived Junior Pyramid, Quiz Kids Challenge, and some others. Plus Wheel 2000, which the show was created by the same person who had created that show, Scott Sternberg. The show's host was voice actor Bob Bergen, who of course was voiced in Porky Pig and sometimes Tweety Bird at Warner Bros. He recently lent his voice tunes like the Fraggle Rock animated series and Tiny Toon Adventures. Now, the show's production involved many of the then current personnel of its adult counterpart, including director Kevin McCarthy and 4 of the 9 writers that the show employed at the time. The late great Alex Trebek, the host of its adult counterpart, served as the show's consultant. Now, unlike its counterpart, this show was taped at stage 11 of Sony Pictures Studios rather than stage 10. The show premiered on January 30th, 1998. Now, contestants on Jep were children aged 10 through 12, and the game's difficulty level was substantially lower than that of the standard Jeopardy game, which kind of got a little bit of critical reception, saying, with someone in the Chicago Tribune rated this with general favor, saying that Mr. Bergen was mighty chipper, but in a tolerable way, but criticized the answers used on the show, saying they were too easy. That's understandable, and the New York Daily News wrote that the purist in me would like to see Jep without these Nickelodeon style frills, but even as is, it demands knowledge and is concerned with actual facts, so it deserves more credit than scorn. Well, which I'll get to that in a little bit. I'll tell you what that means. Anyway, now of course Jep, again the difficulty level was lower and made the show similar to Jeopardy in way to Kids Weeks on the parent program, which were introduced later on. Now the players competed for merchandise packages instead of monetary prizes, and what have you. Include values were in points rather than in dollars, just like on Wheel 2000. Now, of course, dollars was also used on Super Jeopardy, which that aired in the early 90s, as well as Rock and Roll Jeopardy, which premiered on VH1 later on that same year, and Sports Jeopardy, which started in 2014 on Crackle. Of the game's 3 rounds, the first round, the Jeopardy round, was known as Jep. The second round, the Double Jeopardy round, was Hyper Jep, and the final Jeopardy round was Super Jep. There were 5 categories containing 4 clues apiece, and point values were randomly chosen by hitting a button. There were 2 buttons on each player's side as they were brought in on a chair, as they were strapped in, and what have you. And now, one the buttons will would be used to get one of the points that you could get for the clue, and the other is to buzz in. Jep also featured a penalty system. There were 3 flashing lights there, unlike how the lights on the podiums for the original series kind of acted like a timer. Jep did not do that. It was a penalty system. 3 lights were on each of the contestants' lecterns, and they were designated in Jeopardy lights, which would turn on alongside the traditional deduction of points if the contestant gave an incorrect response or failed to phrase their response in the form of a question, even in the Jep round. That's right, you always have to do what Jeopardy you do in its adult counterpart. With an incorrect response, you lose the points. Now, the first incorrect response entitled the player's VAT above them, which has one letter of the show's name, J for 1, E for 1, and P for 1. Now, which that's only a warning, meaning they're in jeopardy. It'll fill up with toy items, nothing serious, like plastic frogs, balls, or I don't know, what have you. With a second incorrect response, the vat would open and spill the contestants with the spill the contents on the contestants. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there. And if you give a third incorrect response, the contestant's chair would recede behind the wall. Once the gate opens, well, it's the wall, and then they will be bring the contestant with locking them out of gameplay for 1 clue. Now, unlike its parent show, everyone played Super Jet. So if by any chance players who had a 0 or negative score at the end of Hyper Jet would have their scores raised to 500 points. When this happened, the amount used to raise that player's score to 500 points was added to the other player's scores to keep the differences the same. Now, in addition to the traditional daily doubles, yes, daily doubles are included. They also featured other special spots. There was the Jep Prize, which was a clue, which awarded a prize to the contestant who responded correctly. Now, they would find the prize right there under their right, well, beneath in the where the lecterns are. But in later episodes, they brought down a little wire down holding the prize. It mostly consists of a little something from Tiger Electronics. Also featured was the Jep Squad. The Jep Squad was a team of children from various places in America who functioned as correspondents delivering video clues, much like the Clue Crew that would be used on the adult counterpart. Now then, after they finish playing the game, going through Hyperjet, whoever has the most points will be the winner. But however, there are no losers on Jet. So all 3 players got choice of 2 prizes. The third place would start. Now, some of the prizes they might go for might be, I don't know, various certificates or maybe something from Sony, like a radio or a television or something like that. Sometimes some of the things I could remember were certificates for shoes from companies like Vans and Skechers, which actually got me introduced to them. That I decided to start wearing those. Yes, I've actually worn some Vans shoes, and I've actually been wearing Skechers at times. I actually still do wear Skechers to this day. Let's see. And there were so many other things. Now, the first place contestant mostly had a choice of maybe something really big. Sometimes it might be a vacation or a big special prize. The other sometimes would be a Sony Entertainment System, well, package that included a television, I think, uh, a radio, a stereo, or maybe a DVD player, or VHS player. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I last saw it. And a PlayStation video game system. Anyway, which I thought that was pretty cool, since I didn't have a PlayStation until about before 1999 was over with. Anyway, after a total of 22 episodes were produced and aired, the show ended. But however, the show continued in reruns until 2000, and then the show later went to Discovery Kids, which aired until 2004. Anyway, Jep is probably one of the most underrated kids game shows in my opinion, but you don't have to take my word for it. I liked it just for fun and what have you. I mean, since Wheel 2000 was fun, I had to give Jep a shot. I mean, as much as I was starting to like watching Cartoon Network on the satellite, I knew when I found Game Show Network, I had to watch it. And then when they introduced this game, I wanted to watch it. It was a it's a fun game, and if you like Jeopardy, I think you'll really like how it's played and what have you. Let me give you a look at some of the stuff you can see. Here's a look at three contestants behind their podiums and what have you. That's what they look like, and then of course there's the walls behind them that opens up if they get a third incorrect response. And here's the show's host, Bob Bergen. I gotta say, he's a real funny guy. He does some pretty good impressions of various celebrities. He did Arnold Schwarzenegger, even Nick Curly from the Three Stooges, even. So, aside from him doing Looney Tunes characters, I gotta say, it's really, really something. Here, let me give you one last thing to look at. Here's another look. There's three different contestants, and those are and above them are the three vats that'll release these toys on top of them if they get their second incorrect answers. So now you see what Jep is like. Okay, so now you know about Jep. Would I recommend you watch it? I'd say sure. It'd be tough to find. Now, you can find a few episodes on YouTube, but unfortunately, they're in three parts, and some of the episodes aren't in the best quality. Now, if you look through search engines, you may be able to find some videos on other sites and what have you, but I don't want to try and say names and get into trouble with YouTube or anything. Anyway, I think this is a show you might enjoy. I mean, it provides a few good funny moments. I don't care what they say. Jep was pretty fun and what have you. And it did have a good rock and rolling intro and what have you. It just sound just like the Jeopardy theme in ways. So that's about it. That's all I can say. So again, tell me what you thought about Jep in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of. I was going to do this. Well, nah, I was thinking of doing it later today, but I figured maybe not. I'm just going to wait until Friday itself to give you the review of it. My next review will be the film When Time Ran Out, another disaster movie. So I do hope you enjoyed my episode on Jep. And if you did, check out these other fun game shows for kids. In the upper left hand corner is the episode on Double Dare. The upper right hand corner is the episode on Wheel 2000. Or if you would like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see the episode I did on the adult counterpart of this, Jeopardy! And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the wide world of game shows. Then I'm your guide. Thanks for watching, and the wide world of game shows will be returning in mid-May with Scrabble. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.